There are a lot of exciting new manga coming out in April of 2024, so let's go take a look at them. Welcome to the Manga Buyer's Guide for April. I am very excited to talk about so many of these books. There's a lot of stuff that I'm really pumped to pick up and read, and I'm hoping that I can help y'all to find some new things as well. Now, before we get into the actual subject of the video, I want to cover a few things really quickly. The first point is, of course, that the dates I am giving you for these are the official release dates according to sources like Amazon and Crunchyroll, but you will find things getting delayed. You will have things that come out earlier than their official date at some retailers. It's normal, it happens all the time. The second point is I'm only covering what I like to call notable new releases in this video. It's not a video about what I'm most anticipating. It's not about, you know, the newest volume of the popular shonen title coming out and stuff like that, because if you've been following a series, you probably already know that a new volume is coming out. And we're all excited to get the new volumes of the series that we love. But what this video is for is trying to bring you attention to these notable new releases, which is usually new volume ones, new single volumes, last volumes from series, things that I consider to be notable because there are so many different series that come out every single week that it can be really easy to miss out on something that could be your next favorite thing. So hopefully, going through these releases, you'll get turned on to something that you otherwise wouldn't have picked up, because that's what happens to me every time I make the notes for these videos. The third thing I want to mention is if you happen to be on Twitter, you can follow me over at OmniCollector, and if you buy something that I talk about in this that you otherwise wouldn't have known about, please go ahead and tag me if you wouldn't mind. Take a picture of the book, tag me in the picture, and tag the publisher. It helps, it goes a long way in just letting them know that I'm out here, trying to make sure that their books get in front of the right audience. Anyway, let's jump into it and talk about the books released on the 2nd of April. First up from VIZ Media's Shoujo Beat line is Kimi ni Toroke from Me to You Soulmate. Just in time for the long-awaited 3rd season, this is the first of a 3-volume sequel to the popular shoujo rom-com series, which follows Sawako and Kurumi in college. So if you are already a fan of Kimi ni Toroke, that's going to be one that you definitely want to pick up. Next up, we got one from 7 Seas, Nagahama To Be or Not To Be. This is a single volume BL about a typical teen named Nagisa who looks like a delinquent and his fish-obsessed best friend Issa. Nagisa suspects Issa has a girlfriend, which would turn his world upside down because he may be in love with his best friend. Then from Square Enix, we get Victoria's Electric Coffin. David Douglas suffers a miserable existence until Victoria Frankenstein, the young medical doctor, offers him a change of fate by using her invention, the electric coffin. I'm really excited to check that one out. It sounds very interesting. Next up from Tuttle, we have Japan's Longest Day. This is a graphic novel retelling of the end of World War II and Japan's surrender that almost did not happen. Then from Kodansha, here's a big one, big in size, The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Omnibus Volume 1. If you haven't been collecting these single volumes or the box sets, these omnibus editions will be the best way to get in at a good value because they run at $22.99 each, collecting 3 volumes. So this has 1 through 3, whereas the original single volumes are, I don't remember the price, but it's basically like you're getting 3 for the price of 2, more or less. Next up from Kodansha, we have Bless. Aya has been scouted as a model, but he wants to become a makeup artist. Meanwhile, the quiet Jun is ashamed of her face because of her freckles. Aya convinces Jun to let him do her makeup for school runaway fashion contest, and together they find that they make an incredible team. I've already heard from people that are my friends and people that I follow on social media that the first volume of this one is really great, so if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure you pick it up. Then we've got Kaguya-sama Love is War, the final volume of the series from VIZ Media's Shonen Jump line, and one more final volume, Poetry of Ran, Volume 2 from Titan Manga. I had no clue that this was a 2-volume series, but I really enjoyed Volume 1. If you enjoy dark fantasy at all, this might be worth picking up. And it is only 2 volumes, so it's not much of a commitment. So next, let's take a look at the books coming out on the 9th of April. We start off with a big one from Kodansha, very much anticipated one, the Fable Omnibus. With the anime around the corner, Kodansha is finally bringing this much-wanted seinen title to English audiences. The series itself focuses on the eponymous professional killer Fable, who is feared across the underworld until one day he's given orders to put all of that on hold and to live the life of an ordinary citizen in a Yakuza hideout in Osaka, unable to attack or kill anyone for a whole year. The original series ran for 22 volumes from 2014 to 2019, so this will be 11 2-in-1 volumes. There was a single volume spin-off in 2018, also just called the Fable, and then a 9-volume sequel from 2021 to 2023 titled The Fable Second Contract. So hopefully they'll do the rest of the series after finishing the first one, if this sells well enough. And I'm pretty sure it'll sell well enough because a lot of people are really interested in this one. Next up, also from Kodansha, is Sketchy, coming from the creator Maki Hirochi of Is Kichijoji the Only Place to Live? This one follows a 20-something named Ako, whose life is just slipping by and she feels like she's falling behind until one fateful day when she meets a group of skateboarding girls and finds a new passion to bring into her life. Next, from One Piece books, we have Tales of the Tendo Family. Masato of the Tendo family is meant to marry Hojo Ran. However, the Ran he meets is a fake. The real Ran fled from her family after hearing how few make it out of the Tendo family alive. I have heard really good things about this one, and I am very much anticipating checking it out. Then we have a couple books from new publisher Alien Books. First up is Fake Rebellion, the first volume of a 2-volume sci-fi about a dystopian world where humans have fallen to the machines. I just finished rewatching The Matrix, so I couldn't help but imagine this is like The Matrix, when maybe it's not at all like it. Story follows 2 children looking to restore hope for humanity's future. And then also End Roll Back. This is the second of the Alien Books series. This one's a 3-volume title that follows Asaharu, who becomes disappointed with himself after his sister Yuka ended her life due to bullying. He meets an angel that offers a deal. He can resurrect his sister by finding the person who drove her to death within 3 months. But with every mistake he makes, his life expectancy will decrease. Then from J Novel Club, which means it's from Yen Press, as J Novel Club is kind of gone into being part of Yen Press. Ascendance of a Bookworm, Part 3, Volume 1. I really am unfamiliar with this series whatsoever, but I wanted to mention it as it is a new Volume 1, so fans of the franchise can be ready to start the manga adaptation of the 3rd part of the light novel series. I did look up and find that the light novel series ended last year with 33 volumes across 5 parts, so manga readers are currently at the middle part, although the 4th part of the manga is still ongoing in Japan, so the manga adaptation is a bit far off from completion. Moving onward, we have one from Titan Manga, 3 Exorcism Siblings, the first of a 7-volume series which follows Mamoru Yamemori, who spends his days tending to his family shrine and fighting against Tengu, making sure his 2 younger brothers will never have to pick up his mantle. Then from VIZ Media, we have Splatoon 3, Splatlands. Continuing Goggle's adventures from the previous Splatoon manga, this sequel introduces him to an inkling named Braid, and the 2 go off on a new adventure. Note that there's not a Splatoon 2 manga. The first series covered the first 2 games, so it goes Splatoon, that was like 17 volumes or something, and then Splatoon 3. Then from Sublime is Engage, a BL spin-off to Love Nest, featuring the character Naru. The series focuses on the chef Mei, who professes his love to Naru, which leads him to find that they are linked by a much deeper and more complicated bond than imagined. Then a few things that I want to mention for this week. March Comes In Like a Lion Volume 2. This one is going to have a special limited edition alternate cover, like a dust jacket, from Kentaro Miura. March Comes In Like a Lion and Berserk are both published in the same magazine, and Miura did a lot of artwork throughout his life for that series, and so we are being offered this by Denpa as an alternate cover. Reading just what Denpa has said, Kinokuniya should have some limited copies of the cover, but there will also be limited copies that are going to be sold on Denpa's Twitter starting on April 9th. It's not a lot. When I say limited, it is very limited, and they're going to be selling some with the book and some without the book, as far as I understand, from Denpa's Twitter account. So if you are interested in getting this, I would recommend calling your Kinokuniya before the 9th, before it goes on sale, so you can find out if they're going to be getting copies, or just be ready to go on the 9th whenever the Denpa sale happens on their Twitter, and just be prepared to try and get one of those copies. Then we have a couple final volumes from 7 Seas Marmalade Boy Volume 5. This is the end of the new reprinted editions of the classic shoujo series, and then Immortal Hounds Volume 7 from Vertical/Kodansha. I don't know anything about the series, but I did find out that 7 was the last one. There's probably other final volumes that I'm not touching on. I apologize. If so, just let me know in the comments down below anything else that you know that was ending. Now we'll move into the middle week of this 5 Wednesday month or 5 Tuesday month. The 16th, we start off with a really big, hotly anticipated one, Goku Rakugai. Is that, I don't even know how, I've never heard the word pronounced. Goku Rakugai, I don't know. Alma and Tao are troubleshooters who will take any case from any client so long as the price is right. There's never a shortage of work. I have not started reading this one yet, but I love the designs of the characters, so I've been hotly anticipating it. If you know me, I much prefer reading physically, so often I won't read stuff digitally. The only series I really read and keep up with digitally is One Piece. Otherwise, I just wait for the physical releases here. So I know a lot of people love this series. I know a lot of people are excited it's getting a physical release, so I'm happy for all of you. And I'm glad that y'all have talked so well about it because it gets me even more pumped to read something I was already excited about. Next up, Snowball Earth. This is going to be part of the VIZ signature line. In 2025, pilot Tetsuo fought against an invading alien horde with a giant robot named Yukio. But when Yukio was destroyed in battle, Tetsuo survived in an escape pod and went into a cold sleep for 8 years. Upon waking up, Tetsuo finds the world entirely frozen beneath a blanket of ice. I really love the designs of everything that I've seen in the artwork for this series, so definitely looking forward to this one. And if any of y'all watched my live stream when we did manga license bingo, myself and my friend Colleen, they got super excited about Snowball Earth. It was pretty funny. Then from Yen Press, Trinity 7 Revision. Trinity 7 is another franchise I have no knowledge of, so I don't know exactly how the spin-off relates to it, but the description for this volume in particular states that it follows Mitsunari, who falls in love with high school transfer student Rinka, just to immediately be impaled by a monster. When he wakes up the next day, he finds he's been reborn with the power of the Magus of Envy and will be fighting alongside Rinka. The next few are from Yen Press. This one is All or Nothing, a single volume BL about 4 classmates and friends who begin noticing each other in new ways. Then we have Fox Colored Jealousy, another single volume BL. This one's 18 plus, about a boy named Akiha with a fox spirit in his body who meets a cute guy named Yukuri. Everything seems fine except that Akiha winds up being jealous about the fox spirit within his body because of how much it is enamored with Yukuri's kindness. Then My Gemini, this is a single volume about John, who is best friends with the twins Jekyll and Hyde. The two like to switch places with each other, and John is the only one who can tell them apart. However, an untimely death between the pair leaves one twin without his other self, but which twin is left, Jekyll or Hyde? Then from Tokyo Pop, A Beast's Descent into Love. This is a single volume 18 plus BL about the thief named Kalim who steals a demi-human named Asuna from a black market auction. Asuna despises humans, but unexpected things begin to happen when Asuna goes into heat. Then also from Tokyo Pop, Scarlet Secret. This is another single volume BL about Shiki, who has the ability to predict the weather, and Yamato, the village chieftain's son. Shaman Himiko selects Shiki as a ritual sacrifice, but Yamato spends years searching for Shiki, only to find him alive and well in Himiko's court. And we end the third week on I Want You to Make Me Beautiful, a complete collection manga. Seven Seas and Steamship is putting this one out. So it's a single volume release about office lady Kana, who's recently broken up with her cheating boyfriend before running into her old classmate Yuzuki. Yuzuki is a gorgeous androgynous man, so Kana asks him to help make her just as pretty. Meanwhile, she also winds up pretending to be his girlfriend, but can a real romance blossom from this fake one? Now, moving into the 23rd, not as big of a week, but we do have some cool things coming out anyway. First up from Tuttle, we have Soseki Natsume's Kokoro, The Heart of Things, another classic Japanese novel adapted into manga from Tuttle. Kokoro focuses on a young man who encounters a man he calls Sensei on a beach. Eventually, Sensei and his wife open their home and lives to him just for the student to later learn Sensei's devastating secret of his youth. Then from Eyes Press, Itaewon Class, Sayori Park stops a bully, an act that will expose him to money and power. However, this leads towards that same bully killing his father. Sayori attempts to murder his father's killer, however fails and cooks up a new plan to open a restaurant where he can plan proper revenge in the neighborhood of Itaewon. Then from VIZ Media, we get Disney Mirrorverse Belle. This is an original prequel story about Mirrorverse's Belle and what her life was like before becoming a guardian. If you're a fan of Mirrorverse, I'm sure that makes sense. I don't know anything about Mirrorverse, so I don't know what being a guardian means. A Brief Moment of Ichika, coming from Vertical and Kodansha. A 3-volume series. Ichika is living on borrowed time as she was given 2 years to live 3 years ago. One day, she happens to see her beloved teacher, Professor Yurugi, who had vanished suddenly at the end of last semester. This stokes a fire of passion she'd once given up on, but they might have more in common than she believed. After I read that description, I was like, I'm very much interested in that. And that it's only 3 volumes, very easy to want to pick that one up. And then we end this week on Speedgrapher, coming from Titan. This is adapted from the Gonzo anime of the same name. Set in the seedy supernatural underworld of Tokyo, a former war photographer, Saiga, discovers a young girl named Kagura, whose touch bestows people with horrific powers. She gives Saiga the ability to doom anyone he captures on film to death. Now, moving onward, before we go to the final week, the stuff coming out on the 30th of April, a quick word from the sponsor of our video, me making a quick word about the sponsor of our video, WaltzComicShop.com. WaltzComicShop.com has been supporting the channel for a little while, and it's been great because I get to talk to y'all about a fantastic retailer that you can buy your manga from if you live in the EU. We in the US have so many different options. I shop from Crunchyroll, Amazon, from in-stock trades at this point, primarily for all of my manga needs. But if you're in the EU, a lot of those places you don't have access to, or shipping is really high. But WaltzComicShop.com can help you to find anything you need as far as manga goes, and they also sell Western comics. So if you'd like to take a look at and dip your toes into some Marvel or DC stuff, they are the perfect place to do that as well. And if you have never shopped with them before, with Waltz Comic Shop, you can use code The Omnibus Collector to get free shipping on your first order within the EU of €40 or more. So again, check out WaltzComicShop.com and use that code The Omnibus Collector if it's your first time shopping with them. Thank you again to Waltz for continuing to support this channel. And now let's move into the final week of April. Books coming out on the 30th, starting off with a big one from Kodansha, A Sign of Affection Omnibus. This collects the first 3 volumes of the series that inspired the recent hit anime about the deaf Yuki and the polyglot Itsuomi. The series is still ongoing, with volume 8 having just coming out, I think, next month in the US, and volume 10 came out in Japan last December. But if you haven't been collecting the single issues or the single volumes of the series, these omnibus are great. As I mentioned earlier, they're a value, basically offering you 3 volumes for the price of 2. Next up, from Kodansha as well, is Fed up with being the spoiled queen's genius butler, I ran away and built the world's strongest army. This one follows the Butler Leite, who's been thanklessly doting on Princess Killick until one day he decides he's had enough and flees to a neighboring kingdom that has a meritocratic society. Here, Leite, under the new name Lilt, enrolls in a training and job placement program where he finds that his butlering skills help him quickly rise through the ranks. Next up from Denpa is Fish Society, a follow-up to creator Panpanya's Invitation from a Crab, that sees Protrag return to their job in the fish market to try and improve labor standards. But they find soon that this world is filled with so much bureaucracy, middlemen, and waste. But what if the fish could handle the grunt work? And what if they could take control over how the products were caught, packaged, and sold? Then from Tuttle, we've got Miyamoto Musashi's Book of 5 Rings. This is a new manga adaptation of the legendary swordsman's book about his return from isolation and his military tactics used to train a new generation of samurai warriors. Then we've got from Seven Seas, My sister took my fiance and now I'm being courted by a beastly prince. Cordelia will seemingly never be married because her little sister keeps stealing her suitors' hearts. Ready to resign herself to this fate, she's surprised when one day a handsome prince comes to court her. Prince Leonhard possesses the power of a legendary lion but has many quirks such as being drawn to Cordelia due to her scent. And we end the month with volume 4, the final volume of Wicked Trapper from Seven Seas. This was a kind of an ecchi fantasy series about a guy who in his first life was a video game designer, and he gets taken into this kind of demon realm where he starts creating traps. Using his knowledge from being a video game developer, he makes these traps to protect the demon princess from all the hunters that try to come after her. So that is it for the month of April. A lot of pretty exciting things coming out, a lot of new omnibus editions coming from Kodansha. I'm particularly excited about The Fable. I've been wanting to read that one for a while, and of course from VIZ, we got a great 1-2 punch coming out on the 16th of Gokurakugai and Snowball Earth. But let me know yourself in the comments below what you are most looking forward to picking up, whether it's one of the notable titles I mentioned here, or just what new volumes of continuing series you've been following you are most looking forward to grabbing this month. I always look forward to hearing what everyone is reading. So thank you so much for spending time with me on this video. If you're new here, I hope that you found this to be informative and entertaining, and hopefully I could help you to pick up something new that you weren't originally planning on grabbing this month. And if all of that is true, hopefully you'll hit that subscribe button and follow me in my future videos. If you're not new here, you know how much I appreciate every single one of y'all spending time with me in these videos. It means the world to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.